Welcome back. How would you feel if you suddenly had to leave your home and start a new life in a foreign country? Our guest Apande was faced with that when she relocated to Australia from Sudan. Apande, when you first arrived in Australia, did you settle just with your husband? You hadn't had a family at this stage?
No, I haven't had a family. I was pregnant with my now 15-year-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we went to Coffs Harbour.
Yep.
That was the first town we went to. And so the people that were sponsoring us to settle in, they were in Coffs Harbour. So we came straight to Coffs, and yeah, we stayed there. And the locals were nice, you know, a small town.
And how many children did you have with your husband? Or do you have with your
5.
5?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been busy.
3 girls and 2 boys.
And how was it settling in a new country as a new mother without your support system of your family back home?
It was hard, it wasn't easy.
Can imagine.
It wasn't easy because when my mother had us, she had her family. She had her sister, she had her mom, and the extended family, you know. But here I was in a new country and trying to raise a child with the husband who doesn't know much, just as much as I didn't know anything about raising children.
Sure.
But it was good that I had a lot of support from the locals, because I have a friend who used to go to church, and she was very supportive. She had her kids, and they were a lot older, so she'd come and show me how to bath the baby and how to change nappies, and
It just highlights the importance of belonging to some sort of a group, whether it's your local Australian woman in a play group, or in your case a church coming from overseas. How did you support your family? Did you have a career plan or a further education plan when you got here?
Well, when you first come, if you come on a permanent residency visa, then you are entitled to government support.
Oh, right.
So you receive Centrelink payment. So we did that. We qualified, so that's how we were supporting, ourselves and the family back home. So we were sending a bit of money back also to support them, and some for us here. So then my husband went to uni to study, and I stayed home with my daughter. And soon after that, I had another one.
And grew the family.
Yeah.
And another one. Another one.
Others and another one.
Yes.
Now, here, coming back to your family, what are some of the challenges you and your family, or were there even any challenges that you and your family faced integrating into the Australian society?
There were a number of challenges, because some things that we take for granted is our culture and how people live. So you never consider how other people live their lives, what's normal to them, or what you can consider as normal for you. So some of the challenges that we faced was that everybody had a car, so it made it a lot easier to go shopping for them. We didn't, so we were walking everywhere. The other thing is also the names of the food. Although the food was similar, the names were just, a bit different, because I don't know how in other countries they call it, but in South Sudan or Sudan, we call peanut groundnut, right? So we call it groundnut butter. So we came here and we went to supermarket looking for this food, and we were asking the shop assistant, where do we find groundnut butter? And he's
There would have been trial and error with a few home-cooked meals.
So we left. We went home without, finding it. Then we asked our sponsor. He's an Englishman, so he knew, because, they're the inventors of the language. So he said it's not called groundnut here; it's called peanut. So okay, so we wanted peanut butter. So he went and got it for us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So it's those little challenges, is it? Also with the culture, and you're trying to integrate into a society where your culture, that you come from, is so different, and it's trying to. Do you still keep your children very much attuned to your Sudanese culture?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's perfect. Now, this is very interesting. You now work with homeless youth or youth in threat of becoming homeless. How did you get involved in this sort of work, especially in Australia?
That's interesting because there is this program that I was a part of. It's called Work and Welcome. So the program was established in 1993 by this teacher at Pedro College. His name is Mark. So with this program, he lets refugees, the schools do their funds, the teachers contribute funds into an account, and the school gets a refugee, someone from refugee or migrant background that don't have work experience. So you go and do that. After a term or 2 terms of school, you get a resume, and so that you can use that as your foundation. That's your work experience. So I did that, and then while I was there, I was doing teacher's aid, like an assistant. So I was in a learning support with the youth that for some reason were having difficulties understanding their units. So I started liking talking to them because we were not talking about school, well, it was just life in general. They wanted to learn where I come from, and they were talking about their lives. So then I left, and I asked someone, how do you get to work with young people? Someone told me, you go to TAFE. You start at certificate, and then you go on. So after my work with them, I went to TAFE. I did a certificate 3 in community services. I liked it, surprised myself, passed it. Then I went on to do a diploma. So at the diploma level, you're required to do a placement, a work placement. So I went to this agency, and a position came up after I finished my placement. They said, there's a position, would you like to apply for it? So I said, I would love to.
And you're back in education again. You've done full circle.
Yes.
That is so interesting.
So I did that, and I've been there ever since.
Ever since. When we come back, Apande will talk more about her life experiences. Don't go anywhere.